Let's talk about the killers and perpetrators of violence and savagery among us. White men have committed more atrocities, murders, and in recent history, mass shootings, not to mention genocide of other peoples such as Native Americans and enslavement of blacks, than any other group in the United States. Research shows that white men are not committing these atrocities and this demonic behavior because they're insane or out of it. They're not committing mass shootings against their own people because of fear, but out of a sense of entitlement.
Hi, Real Life with Love fam. It's your girl Love. I have to tell you, I've been having a really hard time with creating this video. Like, I've tried several times over the last 3 weeks since my son came out of Hobbytown and he was accosted, accused, and told by a security guard when the security guard approached him, do you really want to lose your life over this? Do you really want to go to jail over this? My son had no idea what he was talking about. My son goes to Hobbytown, USA, I don't know, 3, 4 times a month. He drops quite a bit of money in there. The people in there know him, and they know that he's an artist. So when the security guard rolls up on him, he doesn't know what this guy is talking about. So, you know, he's a pretty calm, collected young man. So he's like, I'm sorry, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. So imagine yourself, you're coming out of a store, you just bought some products, you spend $200 a pop in there, and you come out of the store, and because you look black while buying something, you get accosted when you walk out of the store. Now, the security guard didn't approach my son politely, didn't say, sir, you know, we've had some concerns out in this area. Do you mind if I look at your receipt? He approached him as a part of a hate crime. And here's what I mean. A hate crime is when forces come together, and usually white people, and they decide to do something in this country that is based on race to harm, mistreat, abuse, assault, commit battery, commit violence, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical, on someone based on the color of their skin, okay, or their religion, or their country of origin, okay. So the guard proceeds to tell him, well, we understand that there is a suspicious black man walking around, and he's wearing hoodies and a jeans. So let me go there with you guys. So what the fuck is he supposed to wear? And really, it wouldn't matter what the fuck he wore, because you were going to accost him anyway. Now, we found out what happened was, it wasn't Hobbytown that called, but it was Hobbytown, USA, that the people in the store who knew my son, who were working there, didn't step up and say anything about what's going on here, okay? Apparently, what happened was Big Five had called the security, their mall security or whatever that is. And Big Five was almost a block and a half away around the corner. My son didn't even know Big Five existed in that area. And they had said to the security, we saw a suspicious black guy with jeans on and a hoodie. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Okay. Before I get all upset again. Okay, no, I'm gonna be upset. Let me tell you guys something, and here's the truth that nobody wants to admit to. White people, y'all problem is y'all, okay? I don't know where you think you fucking get off by accusing black men of being perpetrators of crimes in which they really are not the ones that committed. Mass murder, 63% of the mass murderers, meaning motherfuckers that go into schools and shoot them up, motherfuckers that go into theaters and stores and all of these different things, they're white males. White women, primarily when you are being raped, there's violent acts committed against you, it is not a black man. Black men are only 6% of the population in this entire country. But you have us and Hispanics locked up to 80%. When it's your men who rape, molest your children. Let me give you an example. There are 6 dioceses at this time in the U.S. that are run by black bishops, priests, whatever. But the Catholic Church has for centuries been raping little boys and little girls, okay? And what they did was move priests from one place to another. It's very rare for a priest to go up and be put on trial. Very, 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 very rare. But if my son walks outside of a store in which he just bought something and he has a receipt, he has to fucking answer for it. But if you a white male, you can walk around and molest and rape children and it's fine. Listen, my president Barack Obama, he really showed you, him and his family, what most black people are like. 90% of us are like him. We go to work, we do our job, we do our best, we take care of our children, and even when we're in single parent homes, which I have been, I've raised my children, I've raised them well, we have to always be worried and concerned about, are our children gonna come home because some white man or some white woman yelled, and my son gets shot. My son could have been shot because he reached in his pocket to show this man the receipt. He said, "Sir, can I just show you my receipt?" And the gentleman, this motherfucker was like, "Okay." So when a black young man reaches to show a person in quote unquote authority something, the first thing they want to do is pop off. Listen, you guys got fucking hunting seasons for ducks. You know, you motherfuckers like to lock shit up, put them in zoos. You like fucking got hunting season for elks and whatever. But my son and my daughter, they're always on that list. It's always open season for them. So I don't know what it is, you know, everybody else in America does. I'm not your regular schmegular black person. My son, he's a cool man. And, you know, I fell back and I let him decide what he was going to do with what happened to him. You know, whether he was going to take it to court, and which he found it very difficult to do because nobody wanted to take his case because he wasn't killed or hurt or shot or hospitalized. So I'm going to put this out there. If every black person that's ever been pulled aside, scoped out, rolled up on by quote unquote authority would start going and taking these motherfuckers to court and taking their money, that shit would come to a screeching halt. I'm here to tell you. And I don't know what we're waiting for. I really don't. Like, this shit amazes me. See, I've always been that warrior bitch. I've always been the one who, you never had to worry about my son or my daughter. I'm your fucking concern. Okay? I taught them to be people who saw things in a clear manner. They roll with you based on how you roll with them. You know? And even in the midst of your bullshit, they remain calm. But I'm not that bitch. I'm about taking your money. because that's the only fucking thing you understand besides being ousted. So instead of looking at black young men, instead of popping off on our daughters, instead of trying to make there be a monster that there's not to cover up your own bullshit, why don't you ask the question that Joan Walsh, a newspaper magazine writer at the top of her game, little Irish woman, asked? What the fuck is wrong with white people? Because we ain't your fucking problem. You your problem. Why don't you stand up and be real about that shit? And the next time, whether my son gets with it or not, the next time you roll up, you want to be very careful about my son and my daughter. Because I'm not that bitch. I'm really not. I will have you in a court of your motherfucking peers so motherfucking fast, you won't know who took your money. I'll own your stores. I'll own your homes. I'll own your fucking children like you did ours. So careful. Careful. Because all black people are not docile. And all of us are going to sit around while you make our sons and daughters the enemy when they're not. I would say to others that you really want to start making court cases out of these things. Whenever you get stopped by the police, whenever you get stopped by somebody in a store and accosted, whenever you get stopped and have some motherfucker walk up to you and say, do you really want to lose your life? Motherfucker, what you talking about? Whenever you get any of that shit, take they ass to court and take they fucking money. It's real life with love. Check you guys' statistics, and you'll find that the monsters that you try to create out of other people are you.